The Amazon Games studio strikes again with another upcoming MMO, this time with one that has a massive history behind it. On May 15th, they announced a new massively multiplayer online game based on the epic Lord of the Rings. I think it's well known to everyone now that Amazon Games Studios wants to become the biggest publisher and developer of MMOs globally. They started with the release of New World, followed up with the publication of Lost Ark, and this year they will be the publisher for two massive MMORPGs, Throne and Liberty and Blue Protocol. In this video, I will touch on everything we know so far about it and my personal thoughts regarding it. I am sure that most of you remember that back in 2021, Amazon announced the cancellation of an upcoming Lord of the Rings game that they had their hands on because of the involvement of Tencent, a Chinese multinational technology company. A few days ago, they announced that the game would start its development in close collaboration with Embracer Group and Middle-earth Enterprises. The game will be set in Middle-earth and feature the stories of The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings literary trilogy. It is in early development, and more information about the game and its release will be shared in the future. A very important note that they give us is that the game will be for PC and consoles, and as it seems, they won't bother with a mobile version, which is a plague nowadays for most of the games. This will definitely help them distribute a better game overall, I believe, because they won't have the troubles that a mobile version would bring. This is the first time that one of Amazon's internal studios will lead the development of an external IP. They state that because, as we all know, New World was an internal IP, and they were just the publisher for Lost Ark, not the developer. They say that they are determined to deliver an experience that is incredibly faithful to the epic lore of Lord of the Rings, and that they have talented developers who share a strong affinity with the series. Before we continue, be sure to take a moment of your time, if you like the content, to hit the like button on the video and subscribe to the channel to help me on my journey and get notified when a new video comes out. Thank you very much, and let's now touch on the main topic of discussion for this game. They make it known that the team that will develop the game is the same team that was behind New World. After hearing that, I am sure that many of you will laugh, and you won't be so excited for it because of the bad reputation the New World has. We all know the massive problems and difficulties the game faced, as well as the bad overall structural code of the game. I played New World consistently for 5 months after its release because I loved the vibe and the feeling it gave me, and I actually counted 1,200 hours in it. Many of us stuck around a lot longer than the masses because we saw the potential that the game had, and after 1.5 years, we can clearly see the massive improvements they brought to it. Let's all be honest here. The people who really cared about the game knew that it wasn't ready for release and that it needed at least a year of development to get into a good state. They rushed it because of the multiple previous delays, and that resulted in an unfinished game with very huge structural problems. After all, I must remind you that the game wasn't supposed to be an MMORPG, and they stuck with the same code that had the purpose of building a different kind of game, which was based on an open-world survival PvP game. I think we can all understand the massive amount of time that needed to be invested to transform a survival PvP game into an MMORPG, and time was something they didn't have because they had already delayed it a lot, so the company rushed them as well. I am saying all this because I want to explain some things to people who might just have the impression of the first week, or just all the drama that took place in New World and not know the good things that they created for the game. I believe that the team behind New World has some very good talents, but the circumstances gave us these bad results. So I think that they deserve a chance to prove to us that they can provide a really good game. On the other hand, when we are talking about an enormous title like Lord of the Rings, the expectations are so high that they might not be able to meet them at all. I am an advocate that series like this one are far better designed as single-player games and not transferred to multiplayer because, in one way or another, the feeling can't be the same. I am not saying that I am not happy that they are going to try to give us a new MMO based on Lord of the Rings. I am just expressing my concerns about it and the difficulties it will have to overcome. Another question that is raised here is whether the game isn't going to be only an MMO but an MMORPG. I won't be surprised if we see something like that announced, but I wouldn't bet my money on it because they might have problems with the already running IP of the series, Lord of the Rings Online. Even though the game has been running since 2007, there might be contracts that bind other companies not to release the same type of game. When we have updates and more information about the game, I will be sure to share it with you as soon as possible. Let me know in the comments what you believe. Can the IP provide a great MMO and generally a good game, or is it dead before it even starts its development? I believe that there is some hope because I loved many of the things the dev team provided for New World, and I will definitely give it a try when it comes out. I say some because, as I stated before, I have in mind the struggles that they must go through to give us an authentic Lord of the Rings experience, and the bar of expectations will be very high because of the title. If you are still around, thank you very much for the support, and I hope you enjoyed the content. Don't forget to show some love by clicking the like button and the subscribe one as well. Till next time, take care and have fun.